What is the difference between conversion versus catalog sales campaigns? Well, they both work for e-commerce brands, but let's define exactly when to use them and in what kind of scenarios you might get most out of it. These two objectives, they are meant to get you sales, and they are constructed in a way from Facebook that they will go and target an audience who are most likely to buy, who are looking actually for buying some type of products. But there is some difference between these two. So when you're selecting conversions, one thing is that you can select the conversion event. Now, what is the conversion event? When you choose conversions, you tell Facebook, I want conversions, but what exactly do you define a conversion? You see, if you're an e-commerce brand, most likely you'll have conversion events such as add to cart, view content, initiate checkout, and ultimately purchase. And when you select a conversion event, you tell Facebook what I want from this particular campaign. If you select add to cart, guarantee you'll get much more add to cart. If you select purchases, ultimately you're gonna get more sales. The thing is that how does Facebook work is that they have lots and lots of data points about their users. They know who is most likely to purchase. That's why when you select a specific conversion event, then they will target that audience. So if you think about it, you are actually targeting kind of a different audience when you select different conversion events. That is the key, and you have to keep that in mind when you create a campaign. And the conversion objective works perfectly fine for both parts of a funnel, for prospecting campaigns and for retargeting campaigns. And yes, even if you have a brand new ad account, you can start off with a conversion campaign. Because if you don't have data, Facebook will look at other brands that are similar to yours, and they will take some of the data points from that brand and they will implement to your ad account. Now, the beauty of a conversions campaigns is that you have a power of choosing the creatives. You can come up with a good creative strategy and run some good and catchy images or videos that will grab people's attention, that will speak to your audience, and usually that is exactly what we have to do. Now, if we talk about the catalog sales objective, you can run again for both parts of a funnel. So what I mean, you can run ads to cold audience and to the warm audience. But I find that catalog sales, they are more meant for retargeting, and specifically more for a hot audience who know, trust, and like your brand. Now, you see, with catalog sales, the difference between conversions and catalog sales is that with catalog, you can only run dynamic carousels, which means that your images will be the same from your website. Because the dynamic carousel, they take the assets from your catalog, and usually they are with a white background, which is not so catchy and compelling. When it comes to the audience with catalog sales, we can run ads to a very powerful retargeting audience. So you can run ads to people who added to cart or viewed content, but they haven't completed their purchase, or you can upsell or cross-sell to existing customers. So as you can see, all these audiences, they are at the bottom of the funnel. People who already know you and they engage with your brand and they like what you do. And why did I say that catalog sales, they work better for retargeting and not for prospecting? It's because it boils down to the creative. Images with a white background usually don't convert very well at the prospecting campaign, because if a person don't know about your brand very well, and when they're scrolling on their feeds or they're swiping through their stories, they're not as interested in your brand as people who already know about a specific brand. With prospecting campaigns, you have to go a little bit out of the box, and you have to create very compelling ads that will, speak to your audience and that will persuade them to click off of your ad. Usually I noticed that catalog sales, they work quite well for brands that sell a neat product. So for example, a home decor product, or maybe some of the products that are in the skincare industry, because those products people are already looking for. They're not very hard to persuade as people who are just browsing and they don't have actually a need. Whereas if you have a brand that are selling more one products, like, if you're in fashion, if you sell jewelry, most likely you will need to run only conversions campaigns, because there you have the option to come up with some other creatives besides the images that you have from your website. Either way, I highly recommend you to test these both campaign objectives, because I can tell you only one thing. These two objectives, they are the most powerful campaigns that you can run in your Facebook Ad Manager. All the other campaign objectives, they are not going to get you sales. And I assume that this is the only reason you would want to run ads, is to get sales. Not only you're going to get conversions with these two objectives, but also at the same time, you can get that brand awareness. Now, besides the technical stuff, you have to understand that now what is more important is actually being a good marketer than a media buyer. Because when we live in a post-iOS 14 world, I feel that like we kind of go back to the marketing basis, which now it's much more important to come up with a good creative strategy where to write copies that will persuade and influence your potential customer. And I've got you covered with multiple videos that will cover those things. So go ahead and watch some of the videos about that so you can elevate your marketing abilities. And I will make sure that everything that you will learn from this YouTube channel is gonna be more about those aspects, because those matter much more nowadays. So until next time, I will see you later.